Seconds. $15. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And we're off. A lot of reclaims on both ends of the spectrum here. That's a break. Could be double distribution. I don't know yet. Shit. What the fuck, man? Long 1575. We're gonna pull it for a couple of ticks. Should be a slight puke low. Nope. The deal with the stall, man. Do the reclaim on the upside. I don't know about buying that though. I don't know about buying that shit. Of course, it stalls when I buy it at 27. I pulled it. I just, this is kind of a bit late to be buying, in my opinion.
push this buy yet, just yet. Right, we just slipped. There it is. I didn't believe in that price action. We did get up to like 25.50 or so. It just didn't look right. If anything, it was actually a sell. So I hope you guys didn't push for that buy in ES. Um, bonds failed. 30-year bonds failed to get above daily -3. So again, we need to watch that first. That's a really hard drop in ES. Not seeing anything yet. Let's see, NQ back to that level. Still seeing nothing yet. That is some really good selling. Where are you leaning, Specs? To the upside?
You know, it's hard to be bullish when the yield jumped so much
Yep.
in the overnight. So it's like, I don't want to touch this.
I'll show you something too. Watch this. Well, if you're trading, I'll show you later. So
No, I'm not. I'm waiting because this is, you know, I don't
insane.
trust this. Yeah, this is like, I mean, look at the yield. It's almost at 5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 4.1.
So where we were at pre-market was the open of 1962. Like that was pointed out. The yield was the open of
Holy
1962.
shit.
Yeah. The 10-year yield was there. That was the open.
No.
Yeah. That's like we're all watching that. So I knew
Crazy.
the reason why I didn't bring it up, guys, during pre-market because I know most people in here are very short term, and to them that doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, it's
That's actually
something
pretty
that we're
scary. Yeah.
yep.
God, how high do
If
they
you
think it's going to go?
sorry, what was that?
How high do your people think it's going to go? Or do you think it's going to
I don't know. That's something that's way out of my pay grade.
go?
That's I don't know how to predict that one. But it's just more of an alarm than it is,
Very alarming because they
Yeah.
say, like, I went back and read like a lot of reports about the 70s inflation. Obviously they blame monetary policy, but they said it really, because everybody says inflation started in the 70s or, but it didn't. It started in like 65. Like it was present in the 60s. Nobody did
Yeah.
anything. So when
And
you tell me
that's
that the
why
yield was
exactly 62, you
at
start
62,
thinking,
you're like, shit, it started even earlier. Because
yep.
nobody really pinpoints it. They just know it was, well, like minimum 5 years before 1970.
Right.
It's like, it's scary.
And the market is smarter than,
Yes,
these
of
tabloids and
course.
stuff like that. We're ahead of it. So, news is the lagging indicator.
Of course, yeah.
Yep.
What do you think of this market, Zero? I think it looks kind of weak now.
I don't know. Honestly, yeah, I really don't know. We haven't, in my opinion, I don't think we've taken anything out. Like, how the way I trade, like, it needs to hit a significant, whether it's liquidity or whatever. We're just rotating the major levels right now, so it's not that we bounced on it multiple times throughout, you know, um, the week or yesterday and overnight. So for me, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not willing to put a bet on, if that makes sense.
I feel you. I'm just thinking if we get below 97, yesterday's low, it's looking hella good for a short. For short, that's what I'm saying.
I don't disagree. We gotta see, but
Yeah, but
I don't know as of now. Like right now, it's like we're just rotating and just rotating. It's like I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. If any of you guys know, let me know, because I'm all ears. I'm just sitting long right now in Swiss. It's a short-term trade, but we'll see how it goes. So if you look at the board right now, Netflix is the only thing that's holding this up. Tesla's down, Amazon's down, Google's down, Apple's down. Meta's barely up. Microsoft's down, Nvidia's down, Bunge's down, Goldman's down, BlackRock's down. Netflix is up 13%. So that's the only thing that's holding this up right now. If Netflix gives way and Tesla is about to hit that line in the sand, it's gone. Specs, what's scaring me is that dollar index is actually holding that 120, 112.067 level very, very well, and that scares me. So we keep printing lower in bonds. We have yet to take out that 122.20. That scares me.
Hey, Zero.
What's up, sir?
You're always talking about all these talks. You never say anything about
What are you saying?
Well, you yakety yak about all the yaks, but
He's
you never
so
say.
descriptive.
Yakety yak, what is
Don't
it?
talk
Don't
back.
give back? Don't talk back?
Don't talk back.
Yeah.
How come you never
What? What are
talk
you
about?
trying to
How come you never
What?
talk about the spy?
What do you mean?
Why?
It's ES.
Oh, it's not. Spy is dropping like a rock right now.
Okay.
Oh, it's not. I just don't like. A lot of people think it's important, right? And then I look at what I've been shown was
I don't
the spy gaps tell you more about certain things. I'm just wondering why, like, you talk about like fucking lean hogs, but you don't talk about spy. I'm just wondering.
Okay. Well, did SPY take out yesterday's low?
Nope. Nope.
Just rallying now.
No, right. So ES
Yesterday's
didn't take
low.
yesterday's low either, right? So in relation,
I'm just asking.
I don't know. I mean,
pissy.
no, I'm not getting pissy, but I'm just saying, like, in relation, it's the same thing. Right?
I know. That's
It-
the way I
it-
have always looked at it as well. It's like, to be honest with you, they're all fucking the same. It's
I
just
thought
which
it
one
was
reacts
derived
first.
from the futures. I thought SPY technically followed futures.
Oh,
So if it follows futures, why not watch futures?
Oh, if you said that, then we wouldn't be looking at lean hogs.
Well, lean hogs is a different market. You can't compare it.
I
Just
don't
using
know.
lean hogs.
I don't know if that's the same thing, bro. Hey,
talking
don't get
about?
mad at me because you don't know how to trade lean hogs, all right? I love my bacon. You guys only eat your Canadian ham.
Canadian bacon.
Or Canadian bacon, sorry. Which is ham.
Canadian ham. It's not. Well, I guess it's ham. I don't know. It's got a
It
different
is
texture.
ham.
And then they put cornmeal on the outside. I don't know why, but they do.
And syrup. It's so
Exactly.
good, actually. I don't know, Mike. I like my fatty pork.
Yeah. But you still didn't really answer the question. Why don't you look at SPY?
Harvey so wants to know.
I'm just
I-
wondering, because the guy looks at goddamn well everything. It's got copper, gold, ES as a because when copper is down, ES is good, and when gold is up, but you're not looking at. Do your guys just not look at it as it's not a future?
We don't look at it.
He's looking at Tesla, and that's not a future. You guys are missing the point here. Like they don't. Is that what it is? It's just you're not part of your training. Just wondering, because some people put a hell of a lot of weight on SPY.
That's because
I
they don't
don't-
follow the futures.
Oh, they do. I watch more.
Oh,
I see more guys
okay.
that trade more stuff than you would imagine, and it's not because they don't
I'll-
trade
I'll-
futures. The guy
I
they
see.
trade whatever they trade.
Some of the guys in there in my group, they don't even trade ES because they can't. They're not allowed to. They can only trade SPY.
They're too big,
Right.
Yeah.
Or QQQ or individual stocks. They're not allowed to trade the futures because I think they're RIA. I think he is, and there's multiple ones. So some do, some don't. I don't know the exact rule to controlling or managing a fund for each and every single one. But I know that I know 1 to 2 guys at the very least that only trade SPY. So we do look at SPY, but it's still their analysis. Everything is derived from the ES and not
Right.
starting with SPY.
I'm not gonna.
Um,
I'm not here to dispute that. That was
I
not
know.
my dispute. I was just the yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, and your to answer your question is like, the way I see it is I'm not going to start at a 30-second chart and then move my way up to a 3-month chart, right? I'm going to start from a 3 months and down. So if things are derived from ES, I'm going to start with ES.
Okay, but I've been here
If
for a
things are
long
going
time,
to,
and I have never heard you say one word about SPY ever.
yeah, I wouldn't
I'm
start. I
just
wouldn't. Yeah, no. I see what you're asking. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't start. Yeah, I mean,
we've
I would
talked
start
about a
with,
lot of different things, and this has never come up once, right? Like,
yeah. Well, yeah, and like, I usually start with like, you know, the euro debt, uh, US debt, bonds, euro bonds, blah blah. I'll start with that. I'll start with the currencies, and before I even start with the ES, because things derive from the currencies, right? So, but the reason why I say watch Tesla is
I
because the capital flow is waiting for Tesla to do something or
I
not.
understand why, and then earnings, and I understand the Tesla part, but
Yeah,
just using that as an example.
yeah. And then Lean Hogs was just a setup. It's a setup that was backed by um, a very small amount of capital flow, and I just took it. Like,
Just took a
I
trade
mean,
in lean hogs because I said to. I put the
well,
I put the seed in there, and you were like,
you did
let's
put
check.
the seed. You
Let's
brought it
take a
up. I was
look.
like, wait a minute,
Let's
that
take a
fits
look
my
at that.
setup. Like I missed this, lumbers trade, but whatever, it's okay. I was
We've
looking
already
at this.
talking about the seasonality of a lot of those products, right?
They're hard, and I will admit
We go. Is
that,
that deep enough? Right,
huh?
get back on track. Is that deep enough there?
Yeah, it's deep enough. But it's probably
Fucking missed
best to
it.
trade. Oh, you talking about ES deep enough?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Yes, I do think that's
You
pretty deep.
guys think this could be a good long opportunity somewhere around here?
That's what I was talking about with specs. We just missed it like 12 seconds ago or something. 15,
Yeah, the
30
three.
seconds ago, right? Like,
I think it's a scalping session though, like ZeroStream.
you
I don't. Maybe actually.
It's
Seen
really choppy and there's
that
no
has to break
clear,
that, right? Where is that? That
no
break
clear direction.
tied it, didn't it?
I'll tell you what they just said right now,
mine's
really quick. It's
okay.
going to be a back and forth trade until the bonds
Tied
or
it.
Tesla is going to show you. So
What
I have it
happens?
marked right here in Tesla, and I have it marked right here in bonds. Until that happens, it's just a back and forth trade.
They're
That's why I
waiting
haven't
for
clicked.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I haven't
What's
clicked
happening?
anything aside from.
Fuck. There it
Yep.
is again. There it is. They broke it. The liquidity, and then they're going to dump, or what?
Nothing.
Comes
It's
the
just
dump.
like shit. Like the flow is really indecisive.
Who's Ivan the Great?
98.
Ivan
Is
the
that my
Great.
cousin?
Russian?
That's a
The
historic
way the
figure.
day I'm
or
looking
something.
at is Monday, October 3rd. We had like a bounce off support, a
Excuse
move
me.
up, and then a retest of support, and then a huge move up. And that's kind of what I'm seeing potentially
There's the
playing
dump.
out here. That's all speculation.
The
Yeah,
good thing
might
about
just
Specs is that he knows, um, oh, this played out exactly like August 26,
yeah.
Historical memory over there.
1907. He's
You're
like,
watching one
like,
market. You got to remember those specific days where it's like, oh yeah, I remember this happening.
This
yeah, and
day is
yeah,
excellent.
This
and
is
I'm like,
3 Mondays ago. We had the exact same setup.
no, he'll say that. I'll be like, what? And I have to go back and then zoom in on that and hope that fucking, Trading View allows me to see inside. God
Ivan the
damn.
Great is the Grand Prince of Moscow.
Yeah, I thought it was like a Russian guy.
Oh, what I meant was, I thought that was my cousin Ivan, changing his name. I thought it was Navi changing his name.
Oh, is there somebody in here that?
Where's there an Ivan here?
Oh, I
We
see.
hit 37.
Did you see the other guy up
Oh, I
top
see
here?
him.
He
Oh,
left.
kimchi. I love kimchi.
Did you see the other guy that's here?
Kimchi. Ooh, I love
Who are you talking about?
Butthole ice cream.
Yeah, I
Oh,
muted
kimchi.
him and he
Come on,
left.
Kimchi is
man.
like Korean food, right? It's like the little sour lettuce.
Yeah,
No.
kimchi's so good. It's
I'm
yeah,
thought
it's
you were
like
talking about butthole ice
the little
cream.
noodles. What do you call those noodles? The clear noodles? Japchae? Anyway, never mind.
no kimchi's
and,
really
Wow.
good. It's like spicy.
Is ZN8 here? Is he here? Oh, there he is. That Randy Howell. After you get through a
What?
few of his videos, it's not like you only have to watch a few of his videos. He has some good sayings, but it's more about him selling his course, really, at the end of the day, right?
Everybody's selling courses these days.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Vichia, I might have to remove you from my chats. You said slaps. God damn it. Are you like 18?
Slaps, I eat that shit. This is slaps.
Mentally, yes.
Okay, that's okay.
I'm gonna start saying that. Oh shit. ES is moving me up. No cap. No cap.
You gotta know the lingo. You got it. Bet
No cap.
cap. What's some of these?
Sus. That's sus.
Sus.
Yeah.
I actually like sus though, because like it says so much.
Somebody
Actually, I
tagged me
heard.
the other day. It was
What?
AWK.
Awoke?
Oh, away
that?
from keyboard. I'm like, oh,
AFK.
fuck.
That's
No,
AFK.
that's AFK.
AFK.
Oh,
Yes.
well, whatever. Fuck, man. Just
Do you not
write
know
it
how to
already. You
spell
got-
at the very
Oh
least?
my
RV?
God.
Jesus Christ.
man. Got a keyboard,
AWK.
use it. Stop being so fucking
WK.
lazy. Stop being so fucking lazy with the goddamn keyboard.
Okay, first
But
off,
dude, if they're AFK, how can
AFK
they
has
type
been
that they're
around.
AFK?
Yeah, that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
AFK has been around
cool
for like
you
at least
guys, but
22
I have
years.
to type this shit in, and I have to fucking
22
I have to ask Google permission for
No,
it
it
to
has.
tell me what the fuck it is. I seriously
Dude,
wrote in
I
what the
used to
fuck
use
is
AFK.
AFK. I'm not fucking
We
kidding. I wrote
weren't
it in the
even
thing.
texting 22 years ago. Zero, what are you talking about? AFK is
No,
10 years.
when I played like
Games?
Counter Strike and stuff like that, right? Yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
if you're playing in a multiplayer game and someone's not moving, they're like, "Oh, I think he's AFK."
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
old is in like age, but old is like as in like sheltered. I'm more sheltered than that, I suppose. Like, yeah, I'm
BRB.
age equivalent. Yeah,
BRB's been around forever, Chia. BRB's
Yeah, okay,
old.
well-
That's like from the 90s. You think?
Yeah.
That's very old.
Or if you're really old, if you get this, I will give it to you. No one knows it.
What?
What
Wait,
is
is
it?
this?
Hold
Why
on,
does
hold
Chia
on.
get it?
Hold
Hold
on.
on.
give
Is
me
that
one
like
I don't think
word?
Chia does get it.
What about this one?
8128.
8128.
Wait, is this like when you type
Well,
it
that
into
one.
the cat? Oh, I know 90210.
No,
know that
90210 is just yeah.
Oh, okay.
But-
Okay.
but you don't know
Well,
8128.
fuck, Tori, I thought it was really
This-
impressive when I met Tori Spelling, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Wait, you met her?
I did a big job with her.
Oh, I met Brian Austin Green.
Dean, her husband, Dean McDermott. He's a pretty cool guy.
Wait, 8128. Is that like when you put it into the calculator and it's like a word?
It's similar. It's pager code.
Does that mean
Oh,
any
is it?
drugs?
it's got to be a
Dude,
drug thing.
It must be
Send
an Asian
drugs?
thing.
drugs
like
now?
8008, like when Chia put, that's the calculator thing.
Yeah. No, like
Here's
back
another
then
one.
when you had
Here's one.
pagers and no cell phones, you would type numbers and they correspond to words.
What's 8128? The heck is that?
BRB,
Does anyone know this one?
of course, Contra.
Ah, you know it.
Wait, up, down, left, right.
You
left,
forgot
right.
select start.
Yeah.
You put start. It's select.
Oh,
start.
it's select start. Sorry, I'm a commie.
Yeah.
I forget that stuff. I'm just gonna fucking go up. Fuck you, yes.
This is
Told
shorts
you,
got
October
offside.
3rd, man.
October 3rd playing
I'm
out.
telling you, October 3rd, man. Look at the chart if you don't
What
believe
year
me.
though? What year? October
This
3rd.
year,
What
like
year?
2 months, like what is
Oh,
it? Like
this
June the
year.
19th?
Oh.
It was 16 days ago.
Look at him.
God damn, John, why you gotta
He's
call
a-
me out, man? My
Specs should
favorite.
change his name to historian.
I will. You know what I'm called in my prop chat? I call myself Mr. Eye Resistance Cell Support
Yep.
Historian. Yeah. How do I change my name?
Or like almanac.
I think. Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be.
Yeah.
Probably those, John.
I could go back.
Yes, I
and
know. That
Dilemma
shows.
or animum. What's Nelly? Harvey, is that your phone number?
Oh, that's that song.
No, that's 8675309. What's that one?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong then.
we just put a random number.
What the fuck, dude?
Oh, I actually tried to look it up and I couldn't
Yeah,
find it.
see, 8675309.
There you go. That rhymes
Isn't it
better.
funny how you
Actually.
can remember it because
Dude,
it's
you're
the
so
song?
old.
I can't remember.
You're so you
old.
can't remember the goddamn number.
I was trying to run it quick in my head, but I couldn't.
All right, what the fuck is going on here?
It's a little short squeeze session.
3,750 and potentially 3,775. We will see.
All right. Here we go. I'm always leery to send people my email. Is that wrong? Even Zero, he asked for my goddamn email. What is that? Your what is that? Your coordinates?
Is that like
If you don't know that, you're not a nerd.
I'm
an
not a
IP
nerd. I'm fucking
address?
not a nerd. I'll tell you that right now. What the fuck is that?
See, I even knew that it's like an IP.
Well, that's your
address
IP.
thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. We are 2 ticks away from challenging the high. If we can do that in the bonds, we might have additional upside.
ICQ? Fuck is I see? What the fuck is ICQ, guys? Come on, don't
I don't
fuck
know
with
what
me like
is.
that.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go over
Harvey-
here and type in ICQ
Harvey only
up
knows
here.
AOL chat
ICQ
rooms and shit. That's all Harvey
messenger
knows.
thing or something. Is that
What's
what it
your
is?
username for
Fuck.
AOL?
Fuck, man. Cross-platform instant messaging. Oh, okay. VIP.
Go look up Merc.
The hell is
MIRC.
Merc?
IRC. Why are you making me do all this stupid extra work?
Because you shouldn't be clicking the goddamn mouse right now, anyways.
Oh, you dirty pig. I see how you fucked me with your silly fucking brain-teasing nonsense. What, I still don't get it. What is it? Relay
Merc
chat?
is yeah.
Morning,
Is-
Santos.
What is that, like, just
Santos.
like another chat room thing or something? Or
I'm gonna wait
95
until
Personal
Santos
chat.
gets in.
Oh, because he's
we can-
pretty
He's young.
nimble with his computer savviness.
Wait, really? MRC
Yep.
was like a Discord? Get out.
Yeah, 95.
Yeah. That's what I used to use to like talk to traders and
Are you serious?
crazy.
Damn.
yeah, and also gamers as well.
Oh, so it was like the
Let's not
same
forget
thing.
the gamers, where it really came from.
It all came from the gamers. We have to
Used to
give
run
props to
a
the
BB.
gamers.
Yeah, everything
Yes.
comes from games, right?
It's true. I mean, this is a
Yeah,
game.
gamers and porn industry. No, like legit. The porn industry did so much for the internet.
It did.
Really?
I would
They
agree.
started streaming before all the stream. This is all BSBS.
What
the hell is
is BBS? Used to
Oh,
run
bullshit.
BBS. Bullshit. It's BSBS. Okay, people are just typing random shit now.
Yeah, because we're just getting carried away.
It's just sure, fuck right on.
Did you guys know the 212 chat rooms?
Board system 19200.
The bulletin board system. Okay, I don't know what that is.
If you have any questions about real things in the world, like how about stuff that's not computer related? You could ask me those questions, and I gladly answer them with lots of knowledge. But when it comes to computers, back in high school, that's the same that I went with typing class. I said, why the fuck would I need to learn how to type? I'm never going to need to use a computer in my life. Look at me now. Instead of taking keyboard class, I think I took English writing.
You never took typing class?
Not once. No, I can type maybe 6 words a minute.
I feel like everybody should be
Efficient in
should be
typing?
mandatory.
Yeah, well, man, you don't understand when I was in high school, now do you? We used to be able to fight. It was cool. They didn't even call the cops. Seriously, they didn't even call.
Harvey,
Actually,
what would you-
my graduating year, they started calling the cops.
That's
You used to be able to
funny.
drink and drive, and it wasn't a big deal.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not
Understand.
okay.
Harvey, the
Well,
last
it's
two
okay, 'cause
pictures
we
I
were really
sent.
good at it. We were really
Okay,
good
stop.
at it.
You can't say that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Check the stats.
I don't know.
Okay, that's
Harvey.
not true.
The last two pictures I sent. Do you know what you use these for?
Yes,
I'm sure you do.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Does anyone else? This is a good.
This is huge, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you Santos doesn't know.
What's up? Let me see.
Might.
It says mixtape volume.
I know the I don't know the American Online now, but the tape.
Wait, you don't know AOL?
No. I mean, I grew up in the middle of the jungle, and like no kidding. 7. I'm serious. Until I was 7 years old. So
This is the
depending
first
what
time
you-
my
I
mom came
didn't know
home
what
with
was
a.
internet back then. Just FYI.
Where did you grow up? Santos?
The middle of the jungle, in the Amazon.
North Korea.
Oh, he was like South America, right? First time my mom brought home a movie for us to watch. This is what it looked like.
That's so
Really? You had
Big.
DVDs before videos? I'm so impressed. I had video cassettes.
Look at the size of the guy's hand. Look, that's not.
massive.
It's called laser disc.
Oh,
It used to come in
laser.
yeah, it used to come in a big, huge fucking.
I've never seen that.
I've never heard of that. They had,
Laser
so you're
disc,
telling
yeah.
me, hold on.
It looked like a
you're
big
telling me they
record.
had laser discs before they had
Yeah.
video cassettes?
I thought it was a big
No,
ass DVD.
well, no, it was probably pretty much around the same time.
Really?
VHS, yeah. Well, this was the competition. It was like Beta
Guys,
and
wait, hold on.
VHS were like in competition with.
Hold on,
What's
Harvey.
going
We
on?
just took over
Trading
high.
related?
Guys.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
took
yeah.
over high in bonds. And Tesla is holding as well, so we might have additional upside. All right, continue.
And I missed that
It doesn't-
goddamn entry that we sent.
There it is.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's popping now. But
Well, maybe we
I
can,
don't think you're gonna get. It's not. It shouldn't come back to 182. Or sorry, and that's in NQ. It should not come back to 37.15.50. Should not. Quotes. Air quotes.
Mhm.
So what's going on? Like, sorry, I'm late. What happened in the morning? Anything specific or?
Just earnings.
Nothing. I think everyone was just waiting. They're waiting to see possibly a breakdown of Tesla. They're probably waiting for the bonds to react.
Oh, I see.
Bonds are still holding, so we don't know. Keep an eye on it. It's sitting right at 122.20. So
Thanks
for
until
that.
we hold above it, it's this breakout may not be,
Real.
I also want to
solidifying.
add something. When the ES opens in the previous day's range, like it did today, it's usually, not always, a mean reversion day, and the market's just slower than versus when the ES gaps and it just trends. So that's potentially why it's been slow to like find its buyers and auction higher, because it's just a mean reversion day and it's just the lack of one side getting taken over by the other one gradually.
Vex, are you suggesting the mean would be like the after hours action?
Yeah, like what
No.
would be the mean version here?
Yesterday's
mean.
RTH high and low.
That would be
Oh, I
okay.
see.
Then we're looking for the mean of that.
Yesterday's. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're opening in yesterday's range.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
They were
No, I'm
reverting
just
back
to
that
clarify
mean.
because some of the stuff isn't as clear as it could be, like with our or with our yours.
Is that
your
clear
guys'
though? Like we didn't
definitions.
break yesterday's low.
It does. It makes sense. But I was just wondering if you were doing it with just the after hours, or were you collecting with from yesterday? Yeah, as well. Okay.
You can use after hours, but I don't find
Well,
it
it
as
depends on
clean.
how wacky I guess. Oh, no, I guess
I
you're
find
what
after
you're
hours
saying
are
is that
really
it's
clean.
opening within this box. So we're trying to go back to the middle of this box,
Yes,
Yeah.
and
which is
potentially the high.
approximately 3740s, give or take.
Yeah, I would say we'd hit 50 just because it's a big round number.
I've got a point of control there at 3740s.
I know that if we reach yesterday's high, I want to short it without even looking. Like I just
That
know
was
that's
sorry. That was yesterday's point of control was 3740.
Oh, so we're gonna we should probably
Right,
reach
like,
that.
It's not perfect. I don't have it labeled, but that's yeah. Could set the setting though to
Hey, have anyone heard about like from Da Silva?
Who?
The Silva left foot?
Oh, it's not gonna do it. Shit.
Oh, I was actually gonna kick him soon, or from the
Who?
levels chat.
Wait,
Levels chat.
who? Which guy?
Silva, left foot.
Oh, okay, yeah. What's his?
Hey, what happened? What happened to him?
Yeah.
He's just a flash in the pan.
I don't know. He didn't message me or anything, so I was gonna kick him, but
Sorry to bring that up. I mean,
You know what?
Good
How much-
going, Santos.
Hey, Zero.
no. I noticed it already.
No, that's how you can get
Oh,
people's
it's
attention,
joking.
right? It actually works really well.
No,
I was
not
just-
kicking from the community, just kicking.
Oh, exactly.
From the
But if
I
you
levels
know.
take
chat.
him out of, if you take him
know.
away from that, and he realizes that that you can get people's attention like that. We use it
Yeah,
in the
that's
other.
true. It's your chat.
I
You do as you please.
Oh no. The levels is different. I don't kick anyone from the public chat, but from the
Yeah,
levels
I
I
mean
do.
the levels chat. Yeah.
Yeah. I do go through. Fat Cat and I both go through it, and then we kick people out who we haven't seen.
Yeah, he recently changed roles and stuff. I saw him.
Yeah, see how Santos pays attention.
Santos is.
I do pay attention.
And you guys can afford to pay attention? You guys must be rich.
I messaged Silva. I was like, "Hey, I haven't seen you for a while. Just checking up on you before I kick you." Santos was
Before I
mad
kick-
at me.
Before I kick you out. Before I burn your house down.
You guys can see like right now because bond has not held above 122.20. We're actually slightly 2 ticks below right now, as an ES is not actually committing to the upside. So this
Yeah.
is the whole capital flow part, right, guys? So like if you were long, you watch the bonds, like if you got a good position. Obviously, I didn't get in, but you can watch the bonds and be like, all right, we're holding, but we're not really like thrusting
Committed.
through, right? So
Yeah.
you could take one off maybe at this major level at 37.26 and then just leave it and then see what happens. Maybe take like half off and see, or just keep on watching the bonds.
FYI, if anybody's not looking at it, we're right on top of we're fighting VWAP right now.
Hey, John Tren, I just wanted to say, overnight low, if you long that, was a really clean entry as well. Yeah, because you were talking about the mean reversion play, and I just wanted to point that out as well.
Yeah.
That was my target actually to go low, but it didn't.
It did though.
That's
Didn't
where
it
I
go to
was.
overnight low?
Oh, not. I meant the previous day low. My bad.
Oh, previous day low. Yeah, yeah. I find it depends on the trend because right now the daily trend is up, so there's like a very low chance we're going to break the previous day's low because it would break the trend. Just something I've noticed sometimes.
That makes sense. Yeah, it would. Yep, you're right.
What I've been doing is you can front run the level with the trend, and if it's against the trend, like say you wanted to short and we're in an uptrend like right now, you'd short at the previous day's high. That's something I think works.
Ooh, that's got to be hard, Dima.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
gotta
know
get the
how you're
trend. You
gonna
gotta know
have.
the trend. Oh fuck! It's just ripping. See, I knew it.
You're not even going to
Fucking-
be able to cover commissions with that kind of thing. Sorry.
Hmm?
Look at bonds, 122.22.
I'm so mad.
Don't be that mad.
This
Yeah,
is
I'm not
it-
typical
mad.
flow.
I lost money. I'm mad
Basics.
because I could have made more. I'm just hating. Anyway, it's fine. Don't worry.
oof.
I was telling somebody, I can't complain to bad trading about anybody else because they just won't get it. But like, if I do it like to you guys will be like, it's not a, you guys will get it because you know the struggle of how hard it is. But if you like complain with like your significant other or your friends, they'll be like, why didn't you just buy it there?
Oh,
They'll just
I
give you like,
totally
know?
agree, Specs. People are.
Yeah, they
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 don't
just
get
don't
it.
get it, and I don't blame them. They just don't get it. They
Uh,
think, oh, you just buy and sell, it's easy, but like they don't
Yeah.
get the nuance and shit. So it feels good to have
Even
traders
if
to
they
talk
do
to
kind
about
of get it, they still don't get it.
that. Mhm.
That's
They're
true.
like, well, I just put my money in the thing and it gives me. And it's like, well, okay. Well, okay.
Yeah, yeah, gives me free money. It's free money to
Yeah.
trade.
It's like,
Just have to
I don't
sit
know.
at the screen 4 hours a day,
Like I said, were you here
not
the other
have
day when I was
emotions.
talking about the girl that so happy with herself when she bought Beyond Meat because she thought that was a good company?
Oh God.
Yeah, at
Happened.
like 130. So she did manage to make money.
Jesus. Yeah.
That she didn't take the money. Unrealized profits are unrealized in your pocket. Now it's at $13. Like, yeah. And she thought, oh, this could be easy. This is easy. And I like Beyond Meat. It's a great product. I'm like, it's shit. Shit. Okay, so I was like, okay, that's interesting. Beyond Meat, eh? That's pretty cool. Let's try one. And I went and got one, and I was like, fuck this. This is shit. It's not worth fuck all. It's junk, right? Like, I don't care how many whatever you're saving, but like the taste of meat. Period. Anyway.
Mhm. Makes sense. It's I mean the people that just buy in an uptrend and think they're the smartest people in the world in the stock market, they're gonna get humbled very quickly. Let me just say that.
The I'm still kind of stumped on the 2 MES. Dima is a very, very, very difficult spot. I would suggest almost that you just paper trade until you can save up a little bit more capital. To be honest with you, because even at 2 MES, I don't even know if you're going to be able to cover commissions at that point either. Like, it's
You
really,
can.
it's really
You can
you
cover.
Specs, you practice more on that than I have, but
It's just at that point, if you can be profitable on 2 MES, then you may as well just get a combine and just crush the shit out of it and then get like a 50K, 100K account because you're just underpaying yourself by trading MES. Trust me, I've been there. Oh, look who decided to show up. Risky. Sends a gift that we will never forget.
I pay like a little bit under $2 a round trip per contract.
What the hell?
I mean, it depends how many ticks you're going for. Like, if you're running 5 point scalps, which not a lot of people agree with for some reason, you'll be fine. I'm just kidding, guys.
I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I my mindset is on it, right? Like I don't know. I have to be able to. I just feel like it's not really worth it. I could be doing something else that's way like I could be way more profitable. That's all.
Well, let me ask you, are you trying to make money or are you trying to learn how to trade? Because if you're trying to make money, MES is useless. But if you're trying to like
I
learn
wouldn't
how
say
to
it's
trade,
useless
it's
there.
very
I wouldn't
useful.
say it's useless, man. I'm at 15 MES right now, and it's working very well. There is going to be a struggle when I get to 2.5 or 25 MES, where the commissions aren't going to really want to cut into it. But
Why would you
I-
trade that many
Yeah.
MESs? Just go to minis at that point.
Yeah.
because
You
it's
could do-
1.5
No,
minis.
but
When you're
You
doing
can't do
25?
I
1.5.
know. But when you're doing that
25 is
size,
that's where it starts to get funny, right?
Just do
I just
two
think
contracts.
you just need 2 minis.
Oh, the scale out
Yeah.
is really big.
How many
I
scale
believe
outs are
in-
you taking, man? And I'm not trying like. It
Well,
just sounds like you're
25
scaling out
would
a
be
lot.
25 would be 5 scale outs, right? Or at
Oh,
that point you
wow.
could jump it up
Oh,
a bit.
wow.
Okay, that's a lot of
And
scale.
so with 15 I use 3 scale outs.
Hey, Harvey, can I ask
So
you
one
what's your
third, one
average?
third, one third, right? Like
Can I ask you what's your average MFE on a trade, on like a winning trade? Or do you know that metric?
so the one with me,
Yeah, max favorable. So say you buy, like say the last 10 trades you bought, let's
okay,
just say
so
7 of them were winners.
Okay,
On
but
average, how much
this
did it run in points or ticks, whatever you prefer?
okay, so the skewed, right? It's really skewed.
Okay.
And then this market environment is not helping with that skewedness. Okay, I can send you a screenshot. I don't really want to send these screenshots out into the public.
Send it to me, DM me.
I will send you one, and this was the one that was. I'll try and find it. It was one of the ones that was most recent.
That's the key, guys, to profitable trading. Having a really long Excel sheet with all of your trades. Me and Zero used to do that all the time. We still do.
I still do
But
it. It's all right here.
helpful to see your own psychology. It's like free money.
This is my ES trade today.
28,
This is my
Yeah,
ES trade today, and this is my
No.
whatever. Yeah.
The fewer trades you take, the more you can manage these types of journaling.
Yep. That's why
And
I
this
haven't
is the
clicked a
thing,
single
Specs.
fucking
I
button
don't.
yet.
I look at things differently, right?
But like I'm just saying, it might be very beneficial to just look at how much your MFE is on average.
I know,
that
but
could help you.
See, it depends on the market environment, right?
That's the thing. I
That's
don't
the point,
necessarily
right?
agree with that, to be honest. And
Okay,
it
well,
depends,
look
I
at
guess,
that
how you're
screenshot
trading.
that I just sent you on DM.
Wow. I don't know, man.
You see what I'm getting at? Like, to build an average out of this, it's not going to be, but like on an average, like, I don't know. No, I do not. Okay, how about this? I do not keep track of it because it's so fucking all over the place that it's not. Could estimate. I could estimate it at 20 ticks. I could estimate it at 20 ticks potentially. But do you see how that one picture will throw it completely way off? See how like that would actually average out to be like say 120 now, 150, just because of that one trade. Get what I'm trying to say?
Sorry, I'm not sure like what you're looking at, but you know, if you have enough data, you can do all those sort of things. You can know which one is outlier, which one it is not, right?
Can I say that again, Santos? You sound like you're sleepy or sick.
No. What I'm saying is, if you have enough data, you'll be able to treat your data to see which one is outlier, which one is your average with a certain confidence, you know, in terms like statistically.
Get what you're saying. I could just remove that one outlier.
You wouldn't remove, but you would flag it out, say, hey, this is outlier. My average is this. Based on whatever confidence level you want to say, you know, statistically. That's all. Like the reason why I'm saying this is to tell you that if you do have the data, there are ways that you can work with your data to remove the outliers and still have the metrics.
Okay, and okay.
That is it's just me saying, right? There are ways around it.
Right. Now, I'm gonna word this correctly.
Crude inventory now.
Specs. How many setups do you play?
I told you I take 2 setups. I
Right.
fade
Okay.
reverse. I fade. I buy support. Sometimes I sell support, and then I buy resistance, and sometimes I sell resistance. That's it.
Right.
But like,
Just feel like
oh
a lot
yeah,
of
sorry.
people
Those
use
other
these
ones are
stats.
just
I just feel like a lot of people use these stats, or if they're not using the stats, then they have no idea. But they're trying to find out which setups are working best for them. Yes.
that's true. But also,
Uh,
like, if you can build statistics significant, like, say I enter a setup
What's
like
the
I did
point of
this
building
morning,
statistic? No, I'm not suggesting
tell
it's
you.
bad to build statistics.
But like, hear me out. Like this morning,
Just
I
saying.
was long at. Hold on, I was long at 225, and the market was just kind of consolidating, and I had the confidence to hold my trade because I know on average my setup will move in the last like 10 tries. If you see it, it always has an MFE of at least like let's say 17 points, so I can hold it for 17 points confidently, knowing that there is literally a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There is a 1 out of 11 chance that it doesn't run 17 points based on my stats. So it just gives me confidence to hold my trades and do it full clip like that. That's one thing it does.
And that's where I
And then on
use
top of that, you can build other things. So you could like maybe if I want to get even better in the future, I have this data. So I could be like, maybe I'll take a scale out because I feel like this setup's gonna run even higher.
Specs. That's the part you're missing, right? So that's why I
Mhm.
use the 3-piece scale out system, and that's how I can get those big runners.
Mhm.
Because there is no, in my theory, there is no reward.
Mhm.
There's only risk. The faster I
Okay.
can cover risk, break even +2, happier I
Mhm.
am. Rest
Okay,
of
but
it
what
goes
if
on and on and on forever. I've had 1,000 ticks. Okay, it goes on and on and on until it gives me a reason where structure is broken, where stops are more likely to be placed. Then I go above that with my trailing stop. So then if it gets hit, I'm like, well, yeah, it's going back up, right? Or down or whatever.
Mhm.
Get what I'm trying to say? Like, that's why I don't look at that 17. I don't shoot for 17. I shoot for 17 million. If I get 17,
Okay.
I'm happy with it, right? You see what I mean?
I get that, but what if like you're taking profit, let's say at 5 points or 6 points? Let's
I'm not
just
taking
say.
profit at 5 points. I'm taking profit at like,
Mhm.
okay, sorry. I am taking profit at 5 points, moving my trail stop to break even +2, then
Mhm.
letting the rest run.
Okay. But what if you find on average it always runs 11 points? Like every single time. Like the last 100 trades you took, they always run 11 points. You're technically leaving money on the table, is what I'm saying. And I totally agree with you. You want your
I
profits
don't
to
know if I'm
run.
leaving money on the table because it's coming back to break even +2. It's fine because the one outlier gives me 400 ticks.
There you go.
It runs
But
on. You see what I mean? And the one outlier gives me 1,000 ticks. So I'm okay with it, right? I guess.
I just say
See what
look
you're
at your
saying.
MFE just in case, because it could help you. But it's
I
really
will.
up to you what kind of style you want, right?
You gotta remember
Yeah.
that human nature. You gotta remember human nature.
What's that? What's human nature? I've never heard of it.
People are lazy.
All right, guys.
Where's risky?
I'm not going to exclude myself. Just because I can identify it doesn't mean I'm
Can I-
excluding myself. I'm saying I am lazy as well, right?
Yeah.
That's the trader work that
Okay.
you're right.
Sorry, if you
And
have
to be
anything
honest
to
with
say
you,
about
I got a new computer. It didn't
huh?
even get Excel put on it.
Okay.
I still
Don't
can't.
even, dude, use Google Sheets. Fuck, you guys still paying for
Yeah,
Excel?
well, exactly.
Anyway,
I
Zero,
use
if
Google
you have
Sheets as
anything to
well.
say about ES, just say it. Like, I think
and I'll
ES
shut
talk
up.
is very important. Is that Zero?
Wait, what? Are you
Did you
talking to
want to
me?
say something? Yeah, you want to say something.
Yeah, I did. I was gonna say that why I took this trade.
Oh, which one?
So yeah, crude oil.
Ooh,
Well,
getting crude.
I'll explain the trade and I'm gonna chime in on what you guys said, and you guys can continue. All right, cool. If you guys look, we are at the daily +1, which is at 83.52, which also is a liquidity zone from yesterday. So yesterday we did drop down, spike up to exactly, or not exactly, but 83.54 area. So happens to be a daily +1 level. If you look on a 30-second chart, I'll show it here. We came up, took liquidity to the upside. So right when things came out, took liquidity upside. This is now the important level, right? We drop down, we come up, we retrace a little bit, which is fine. And then you drop down to a 5-second chart. For me, 5-second, you don't have to do a 5-second chart. I'm looking for a pullback. This is the area. I'll just draw a line real quick. Right here. That's where it broke on the 30-second. I'm looking for a pullback area. I got short at 83.20, so a little bit late after it played out, after it broke right there. And I'm taking it all the way down. So that's the reason why I took that trade.
Point out where your
That's a
risk was,
that's a
please.
yeah. So my risk is right here. So it's not a
The very
really
top there.
good trade. Yeah. So it's not a really good trade. That's my risk.
How many ticks
Hey,
above? Or sorry, how many ticks under?
this
Like, yeah,
was 32
can't read it.
cents above. Now, that's the way I
32
like to
cents.
play it. 32 cents, yeah.
You can read the
crude
little
oil.
box, so it'll tell you the ticks.
Yeah, 32 cents. Oh, you want to know the ticks?
Oh, it just makes it so everybody can
30,
understand it.
30, yes, 32 ticks. 32 cents is
ticks, okay.
32. Yeah,
Okay,
in
sorry.
crude.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. But technically, if you wanted to, I'll draw on a 5-second chart so you guys can see it, or I'll convert this to a 5-second chart. So I entered right. Entry was at 30. 20. Stop stays there, whatever. So it's like slightly over 2-to-1 trade. At least that's my goal. But technically, if you wanted to get even more granular, which I actually did, I'm just saying that you could. After you enter at 32.20 here and it breaks down, you can technically just put your stop up there, or right there. Because if it invalidates that, you can actually try to get back in.
That's
and
better.
not
To
risk
me,
the
I
pullback.
probably wouldn't have tried to take that trade because it was just a little too deep. And I can't
Yep,
afford
that's
30 ticks, right? But if you could justify it being there, I have trouble justifying, because you're right. The top is the risk. And if every
the
time,
top is
well,
the
not every,
exact risk.
yeah, exactly. And every time I do drag it down to where you had it there, where you felt like it was better risk to reward, again, this is the manipulation of the risk to reward. That
Right,
you just
you get
did
stopped.
typically fucks, yeah, it fucks me over. Exactly.
Yeah.
Typically, right? Typically. Unless I really wait for that pivot in there, right? Like, you know what I mean? And I take it on the way down.
Yep.
I'm taking the break, go back to that chart. I would take it on the break of that going down again.
Right
Yeah,
here.
way down. Yeah, exactly. I would take it
Yeah,
there and I would risk the top and I would feel way more comfortable.
But again, all right, let me
That's all.
erase it.
That's
Oh,
just the way
actually,
I would
no,
look at
that's
it. Right? There's a
okay.
lot of ways to look at it, but
I'm gonna show you why I did not do that. And this is just my strategy, okay? And I don't mind sharing it. These highs right here were made by this, right? Technically, this did it for this one, but then when we actually made an equivalent high, I will take this one. So as soon as it breaks that,
equivalent high,
83.21,
okay with that.
yeah, for this time frame, I'm okay with it. So the low of this candle right here is 83.21. I'll go one step lower, which is 83.20. And once it breaks that, which I got exactly in at 83.20, it's off to the races. So yeah, you can do it here as well, but you're taking just as many risks as I am. I mean, as far as like once
Right,
it hits,
but
it's still coming back at you a little bit.
I feel more comfortable.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you
That's
feel. I mean, everyone trades
yeah,
differently.
that's all.
Yeah.
Just that I feel more comfortable there. Don't listen to me,
That's
guys.
perfectly fine. So, and the way I'm managing it right now is I'm waiting for a break of structure. So this is the high, this is the low. If it cracks that, and I hope it does for the sake of showing people this. Let's see if it cracks it. And Imperator, I'll show you. I did bring it to break even. Once it came to this level, this area, this is where I call it the fuck you zone, meaning I'm watching the price action up, and this level right here was an intraday fuck you zone, meaning If you're long, they want to bring it down to within this area and screw around with any weak hands. So for me, I took one off there. I'm still -2. I'll just see what happens, right? If it pops this, I'll show you what I will do if it does. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll keep an eye on it. And while we're waiting for that, I'm aiming for down here somewhere, probably. I don't know. When originally I was aiming for 82.42, but it seems like I don't think we're gonna get all the way down there. So I'll just manage it. See what
fuck?
happens. I'm still aiming for it though. Okay, so we just cracked that, so we can't really use that
Sorry, so
example.
you
So now this is a significant high right here.
okay, sorry. Let's just put it into simple pieces. Like, did you use like how many CLs? Like 10? 5, 2, 1?
No, I only did 3. This because
3.
it's
Okay,
not
so
a
you've
high
taken one
risk
off,
reward.
and you've
Mhm.
gone to break even the last 2.
Yep.
You're gonna let it
Yep.
come all the way back to break even.
I will, and I know that hurts you, Harvey, but I
Oh
will.
no, I know. I'm just suggesting. Do you see how me, you, and Specs just did it 3 different ways? Any of them are wrong. None of them are wrong.
I will oh wait, hold on. I will comment on this. And this it's great that the trade is happening at the same time you guys are, talking about this. Specs, Santos, and I are nerds in a sense where we love data. We can't make a decision without data. We don't sit there and say, yeah, usually when I do this, like usually when I bring it to break even, it works out for me better. Or usually when I don't bring it to break even, I leave my stops there, it works out better or worse. We can't we don't have that feeling. We need to say, no, let me rely on the data. If there's no data, I can't make a sound decision. Whereas you are working and operating in a
Strictly
different,
price action.
yeah. So which is fine. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means that you don't have like on a negative side, you don't have definitive answers
Oh,
as to
I get you. I
whether
get you.
you're
Like, I couldn't take
yeah.
this business plan to the bank and say, look, say, well, why? And I'd say, well, because I'm good at it. Like, that's not
Yeah.
good enough.
Yeah. It's
I
kind
get
of
what
like
you're
art.
saying. Like, there is no real
Yeah.
business plan to it. The way I'm like, you're in specs and keeping track of everything, like data. That's truly how, if you wanted to get sponsored, well, I use the word sponsored, but financed by any type of institution, you need that. They're not going to take a risk on you just because you look shiny in your shoes and you're fucking handsome and you got a mustache or whatever. You need
Oh, do you Specs?
Bex has got a mustache for sure.
Dude, I'm just
November
some
time.
Arab boy.
October.
Don't
I
worry
didn't
about
say it
me.
was a good mustache.
I got something.
You got a mustache, but it is not.
The only thing I
It's not
have
a
is
Tom Selleck,
7,000.
that's for sure.
I was just gonna say the only thing I have is 7,000 rare fish.
7,000 rare fish. What are you talking about?
Don't
A
even
big fish
worry
tank?
about it. Yeah, let's go with that. Oh, market's at 25. I really thought 25 was gonna hold as 2 days ago as a level, but doesn't seem like it wants to.
I'm looking for the 20s. Let's see if the 20s is gonna kick it out.
I'd be so
Somebody
shocked.
tell me what the bonds did and why ES is failing.
As the bonds broke up.
Yes, is failing because
Tanking. Below your
I was just gonna
level.
say.
Never held above 22, really.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I kept on saying we're sitting there, we're still sitting there.
Yep.
And then we went up max, 22, and we just sat there. We did not like follow through.
Yeah.
So if you were long, you wanted to get out. And I did say that. Say, hey, we're sitting here. If I was long, I would get out one or some and see what happens. Take some
Yeah, I
profit.
did exactly that. Like when we went over your level, the 26 level, and we went with force, I just scalped it because I was like, let me just go in and out. And I saw the bonds weren't, like it had already dropped to like 21 at that point.
Right.
So I was like, all right, out.
Good.
So
Herder?
thank you again.
Absolutely.
No. It's good trading by you.
absolutely would invest in somebody that doesn't bring me data, but they have a good business idea. I absolutely would. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely. Because sometimes you can't build data till you've done it.
But it could be biased, right? It's kind of like arguing with your wife.
This is the only place
She's gonna
where
feel
you're
like
gonna be able
she's
to.
always right.
I mean, no. Oh, no, not. I'm not talking about retro.
What? Retro's your wife?
No. No, what
What
you're
are you
talking
talking
about? Predator asked me
No,
a question.
No, I'm just saying like okay, when you're arguing with someone or when you're when you don't have like factual like data, right? You're like, well, I'm always right, or I'm right 9 times out of 10, or 8 times out of 10, or 8
Can I
times out
give
of
you
10 this
example?
happens. But you don't know for facts. Yeah, go ahead, Santos, sorry.
So I used to work with someone that the guy would analyze, make conclusions, and this is engineer I'm talking about, right? So he would analyze, make conclusions, say, okay, that's what we have to do. This is when we're creating, designing processes and equipment. And I was like, oh my God. I said, and at the beginning, I would try to reason for that person to say no, based on my understanding what I was doing, right? Because I thought they were paying me to listen to me and to get my word, my insight. Anyhow, I learned that I can let the guy talk for 5 hours, don't say a thing, and after the meeting I say, listen, that's what the data showed. The guy is gonna, oh, so that's what that means, and I would not have wasted any of my time and not get stressed. I could even mute the microphone or whatever if I was in a conference call, because I could say whatever I want. I could be trying to reason and do everything, but until I showed the data, the guy would not listen to me. I was like, motherfucker. So it depends on the kind of people you're talking, right? As a most of the financial, I think, decisions they have to make based on data because they need to justify it, right? Like, but yeah, there will be cases where you don't need the data. But this guy, he would not listen to me. He would think it was my opinion if I was saying something, if I did not show the data, even though he was paying me for my expertise. My expertise without data for him was just opinion, not expertise, whatever that is. It was very annoying. But yeah, to the point, some people like data, some people don't.
Some people can operate that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off my crude oil trade. Just FYI, I was like 2 or 3 ticks away from target, but I'll take it off.
Never underestimate somebody that has a high level of motivation.
Yeah, never
All right, I'm out of my crude. Yeah. So those.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is that some people will make it happen no matter what.
Yes.
I base that.
I
guess I feel that is more important than data. But it's not. I'm not saying I don't do any data. Like, you have to. Yeah, obviously, if you got to have some. And I say, well, let me get back to you. I'll do the math. Let me get back to you, right? And if I can break even on it in a business plan, later down the road, I can make it work better, right? That's the beauty of it. You can manipulate the situation to make yourself more profitable, in a sense. Right? Like, let's just say you're selling beer at $5. Guess what? On Fridays, we're selling it for $4.50. What? That makes no sense. Friday's your busiest day. Exactly. Guess what? I only paid $2 for that beer. $5, $4.50, $3.50. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Okay, gents. And Ritter, I'm gonna go to work now. I gotta go.
You got 11,
Look what you did,
minutes.
Harvey.
Santos,
You drove him
got
away.
11 minutes.
No.
take you 11 minutes to walk there.
Harv is my buddy that we trade that night. We watched the Globex when he's taking care of his tanks.
Great.
Is what? Tanks?
I don't know.
What?
It's just another one of those businesses, Retro.
Okay.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right, guys, have a good one.
See you, Santos.
Hey guys, I'm looking at this. We're really close to London close, so if we can pull back to 37.17 or so, then I'll think about taking it long. But other than that, um, don't click too much. Can you hear me? By the way, Peter, Piter, Piot. Okay. This is capital flow. In a nutshell, and a very simplified version of capital flow. Um, so essentially, it doesn't happen every day. It really depends. It depends on the regime or the state of the market that whether it does that or not. Um, Today's capital flow edit Tesla as something that you need to pay attention to. But normally you don't always look at Tesla. What I've noticed was that Tesla was the one that was lagging initially and holding everything down, and it still kind of is. Everything else was up, and Netflix was basically holding everything up. As far as the bonds go, the bonds were something that consistently has been leading. The debt market has been consistently leading, or a leading indicator of what ES and the indices will do. For the most part, um, you know, we are majority of times looking at the dollar index and looking at and bonds. However, I will say that there are certain days one takes, the driver's seat while the other one kind of takes the back seat. Um, there is something that you should know about capital flow. Capital flow is something that, isn't just uh, hour to hour or 5 minutes to 5 minutes or something like that. It's actually a much longer term play. We can only guess on an intraday level as to what it's going to do. Yeah, it's extremely macro economic sense. So like if you look at the dollar index, we're sitting within like weeks range. So you can't look at dollar index and be like, oh, it's ticking up or it's going up, and which it is. Then the market is down. Well, by then it's too late, right? The market has already shifted and it's already moved. So you can't really look at it from like a 5 minute standpoint or a 30-second or even an hourly. Shit, hell, I don't even think a 4 hour is good enough. But you certainly can pay attention to what levels it's challenging and if we're moving off of it or not. Bonds is that we could not hold above, 122.20. At the exact same time, ES broke out, and um, what I said, I don't know if you were in the room at the time. I did say that, this is a place that you might want to take profit if you're long. You don't necessarily want to press shorts, although it would have worked out well, but you don't know where it's going to run to. So you might want to take some off right now, right? Maybe half of your position or a fourth of your position and just see. And if we further break out, then great. If not, then, get out, which we didn't. And, the bonds broke down way before ES did. You still, you know, you lost a little bit from the height of it, maybe like, I don't know, 8 points or so, but it's a lot better than, waiting further down and you've lost a lot more than that. Um, so to answer your question, it's capital flow based, not necessarily what occasion, like day um or seasonality or something like that. Yep, you got it. Other people have asked me where they can learn it. I don't know. I only know one place to learn it. These old pit guys, talking about it. Ira Harris, you can go read his blog. Um, you know, other than that, I don't know where else you can learn it. Uh, I, I felt that way initially. I felt like, what the fuck are you guys saying to me when they were teaching me and stuff? It's like, it almost sounds like, because I was trying to look at it on a granular vacuum level, which is like a 5 minute. I'm like, oh, it's breaking out. Oh, it's doing this. It's like, no, that doesn't matter. The capital flow takes 1 to 2 at least days to turn. It takes a long time for institutions to fully get vested in a position. It's not a 5-minute basis. Like I would say, a lot of these moves here are just um solely based on algos and retail traders and not directional moves. And you can see that from a daily standpoint. We're not doing much. So, like even like a 50-point move to a big institution is nothing. Their stops are probably like 2 or 3 times the size that. So all of this is just algos. Yeah, um when you say they, do you mean algos um or do you mean institution? Yeah, it takes them a long time for them to get into a position. It takes them a long time to get out of a position. They will shove it. They will use algos in a different sense where, not market making, but they might use algos to get the best pricing, at that time, at that, specific spot. They're not going to dump 100,000 lots on one price. Um, and there are times of the year and quarter that they'll engage in and reshuffle things. So if you're asking this noise is because they're getting in and out, it could be, but I think even if they're trying to get in and out, there still is a directional move. So for instance, if you look at ES, what was this last Thursday when we had those numbers? That is to me more so getting in and out. It was a back and forth day, it was, but they stole liquidity from the upside, then they stole liquidity downside, and then moved, right? So I even though if you look at it and zoom out, and it's like okay, we went down, went back up, so it's a back and forth day, not really directional. That's more so of, in my opinion, of them trying to get into a position, possibly. But having said that, there was nothing traded from like 3602 down to like 3568 or some shit like that. There's nothing traded there. It's like blank. Are you new here? Oh no, I've seen you here before. Never mind. You'll see. There's certain people. Um, there's certain contributors to this community that are extremely short time frame, like seconds, and there's some that are minutes, and some are, you know, under maybe an hour. Um, and you'll see like the different types of analysis they do. Uh, yeah. So I would say, find the ones that you like trading, or trade similar to you, and then ask them questions or try to get into it. Like I can do commentary as far as um shorter time frame, but I don't trade that short of a time frame. I can and I will sometimes. It's on purpose, like, or sometimes not even on purpose. It's knowing if you're in here when I took that short in crude, knowing that this is going to be a short term time or time frame trade is what we call it, or what I call it, meaning, this will not last that long. I'm just trying to get a couple points here or there, um, to line the pocket. It is still a setup. It's just not a setup that I'm gonna hold for days and days and days. Whereas currently, I'm long Swiss, which I still may close out, but the original thought process was to hold it for quite some time, which, you know, I'm guessing it's gonna take probably like a week and a half of holding Swiss if it ever gets to my target. Um, but I will have to see what tomorrow does. If bonds break this, at 122, uh, it can spell a lot of trouble, guys. Just FYI. If you used to trade currencies, that's a good thing. Um, if I always start with currencies as far as, excuse me, the macroeconomics. The currencies tell you a lot about what the macro is going to do. So I do use a lot of the currencies, and obviously bonds too. The capital flow always starts with currencies and then debt. Probably wouldn't engage with Nat Gas until about 5.269 if you guys trade Nat Gas. It's probably gonna fall until then, but that doesn't mean we're shorting in the hole. For gold, I'm looking for it to tap 1620 and a half before we can have any kind of upside. We still have a long ways to go for copper. Yeah, that's usually what I look at. I mean, maybe not indices right away, but I will look at the currencies and then the debt, sovereign debt, bonds, and then I'll start looking at where money is flowing into. It doesn't necessarily have to be currencies or indices. Yeah, I do a lot of homework. You can ask some of these guys. I do a lot of homework. I post it out here. I will. I basically watch the market from Asia close to about U.S. close. I mean, I take a lot of breaks in between. I'm not gonna, let's be honest. It's a really good bouncing crude. Completely missed that. That's okay. Can't be afraid of work, Peter. Not entirely sure of this rally right now in ES. I'm still trying to decide what it is. If it's sustainable or it's some bullshit. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's legit. That's good. If you're serious about it, this is important. I mean, there's also something where it's like decision fatigue or just fatigue in general. So times like this in the market, if you miss a move, you miss a move. Who cares? I would say, you know, don't waste your time. So a lot of the time, especially after London close, if we're having a discussion amongst the group, I'll talk. If not, usually I just mute and just, shut down or watch some YouTube videos or watch some, whatever it is. Talk to my guys or whatever. But you shouldn't sit here and watch the ticks because this flow now, like assuming you want to go long, if you're not long already, you shouldn't be touching the mouse. If you're short biased, uh, I still don't think you should be touching the mouse. Not usually, just as of this capital flow, this regime, or this market condition, it will lead to ES. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean it always does. It just means the capital flow is dictating that it will lead it. The macroeconomics will dictate that it leads it. If you want to think about it in the sense of, macroeconomics, um, it's still a risk asset, right? All of this, yes, it's a risk asset. So if, gold is a risk asset, although it's safe, Now, if gold and bonds is moving up, that means they're feeling a little bit more secure about risk assets. So they'll throw money into that first. Hence, it will lead. Now, when I say lead, it doesn't go 1-for-1. It doesn't do any of that stuff. What it leads is it leads by levels. If you have good levels on it, and you should have levels on everything, or at least if you want to, do capital flow, you should have levels on everything. And I'll explain why, if let's just say bonds runs, is supported at a level and doesn't break a level, why ES might or might not, break or support a level. So a lot of people are like, oh, I have levels. Sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, that's all levels, right? All levels are like that. But use capital flow to confirm these levels, not whether they're legit, because they should be legit, but whether they're going to be respected or not. So, for instance, on our rally in ES, we went up to a major level area. We passed it, and it went past that major level at 37.26, earlier today, but bonds failed. Now, just because it passed that level doesn't mean that that level wasn't valid. It doesn't have to stop to a tick. It doesn't have to do anything. But that's a line in the sand decision. So once it gets up there, passes that level, it failed. The bonds failed. So we failed. ES dropped. And when ES pulled back up, where did it pull up to? It pulled up, basically a couple points past 37.26, and it collapsed. And once again, we're trying to get back up to 37.26 just right now, but we're unable to. The highest is at 37.25.50. So this is quite telling. And since it did rally, and I said, this looks kind of suspicious to me, doesn't seem, it's not warranted. That's what I mean. So that doesn't mean I was short there. It just means that I know that that is not a place where, um, that's not a breakout I want to play. And even if I wanted to short there, it doesn't mean I want to short, in the hole. The bonds aren't showing me anything yet. We're in the middle of the area, and there's no need to take this. So even if it breaks out to the top side, let's just say it goes up to like 37.41.75. If bonds are breaking out, I'll buy up there, even though it's way up there, right? And it's okay. I'll buy up there. If the bonds are telling me, the capital flow is telling me, I'll buy up there. Capital flow isn't just bonds, but it's a lot of other things. But yeah.
Hero, I have a question. How do you
What's up?
know coming into the day, like what is like, so today, like you were looking at bonds. How did you know it was bonds today versus say a currency or something else? Like
Well, for
Tesla,
the
I get because it's ER, but
yeah.
like how do you decide, how do you rank them on a specific day, I guess, like all your capital flow stuff and like the different things that you look at?
Well, for the most part, we were watching ES. Oh, sorry, dollar index, right? I mean, for a long time, we were
A
just watching
long
dollar
time.
index.
Yeah.
Right. So if you look at the dollar index, where is it? Here. We just been sitting within this, as we're basically within last week's range. And last week we're within 2 weeks ago's range. Yes, we did break out of that range a little bit, this week and 2 weeks ago, but that doesn't say anything. Like a lot of people will be like, and not trying to shit talk anybody here or anywhere else, but they're like, oh, we're within yesterday's range. Well, we should be ranging, or we're outside of yesterday's range. We should be ranging. Well, what does that have to do with anything? What if yesterday's range was on the bottom of the previous day's range?
Right.
Aren't we
So
just
it's
still
like a
within range?
wider view.
Right. So I'm looking at dollar index. We're still with it. Like, we've been sitting in a large range, yes, from 110 all the way up to 114, so a 4-point range within dollar index for the last, month,
Yeah.
right? So what are we actually doing? Nothing much
Nothing.
within
Yeah.
dollar index, right? So yep. So we look at the bonds, right? The bonds are breaking down hard week after week after week for like 3 months, if not more, right? So
Mhm.
then I'm thinking, all right, so where are the bonds? Are they going to bottom here? Are we catching a falling knife? What's going to happen? So the bonds are going to tell us. If the bonds keep on weakening, which it has, then we should know that the ES is going to start to weaken as well. And again, it goes back to the macroeconomics of risk assets. Do we want do institutions or do people believe in this market?
Right.
If they do believe in this market or any market or risk assets, they're going to pour into gold. They're going to pour into bonds first. Why am I not going to focus on gold instead of bonds? Is because, well, gold has too many factors to it, more so than bonds.
Right.
Gold has seasonality to it. Like, if anyone is, and they can verify this from what I know, and this is what I've been told, is if you're, um, during wedding season in India, gold will spike, or a couple weeks or a couple months earlier, gold
Mhm.
spiked just because of the massive amount of gold that people are buying.
Right.
So, you know, whether it's priced in a little bit earlier or a little bit later, that's up to, the, I guess, the institutions. But as far as I know, that's what I've been told. So I can't really verify that. I hope that
So,
answers your question.
yeah, it does. And I think also with gold, because it's denominated in currencies, right? Like you could buy it in
Yeah,
different currencies, you get that complicated,
right.
that
So
complication along with it.
absolutely, I 100,000% agree. So I do start with the currencies as far as watching capital flow, but
Mhm.
as far as the ES goes, it doesn't necessarily have to start with the currencies because it's essentially the world's market, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that helps.
yep. So why are bonds now correlated with ES instead? It's just Sully. It's just the risk assets. If you're risk off at this quad or regime, you're completely risk off. You don't want any kind of risk, and especially with the inverted yield curve, you
Yeah.
don't want any kind of risk whatsoever.
It's a
Again, it's just
combination. So, okay, like there's like actual research that I guess like people really don't know about, but like bonds and indexes get highly correlated in a very high inflationary environment where there's interest rate hiking, like rates are going up. So it's a very specific scenario that just doesn't even happen. So people don't know it, and everybody's just used to the standard teachings of that's why you have a 60/40
QE, right?
portfolio. Yeah, like yeah, exactly. Like that's why you have a 60/40 portfolio all the time because that's supposed to weather the storm in equities. However, this moment in time, which just doesn't even happen. Like I guess it happened in the 70s, but when you have a very high inflation, like high inflation, which is where we're at now. I'm not talking 3%, 4%, 5%. We're talking like 9, 10 and above. And you're
Hmm.
increasing rates. It kills everything. Everything. It's just like a very unique circumstance and really happened in January. Like you saw bonds tanking in January big time. Like that's when the movement started. And people still tried to buy bonds like a quarter into the year because they didn't
Bro.
realize. Very interesting.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And Red Pie, you're right too. For me, I didn't fact check this. Someone said it. He's, pretty smart in the room. I'm not that old, but he said QT has never been done to this massive scale. We've announced QT, other countries
Right.
have announced QT, but they've never followed through with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's 1,000% true or not, but it's what I've been told.
Seems like it's on the mark.
You know, I'm still looking at pre-COVID highs, 3,400 or so. So we'll see. I'm still thinking we're going to get down there eventually. I think probably we will have some type of rally and then, tank.
The other thing like people don't remember or forget is like when we had the dot-com burst, it still took NASDAQ like 18 months to bottom from like when people started getting afraid. So like say people are getting afraid now, it was like 2001, it still took 18 months for it to bottom. We have
Yeah,
no
it's-
idea what's going to happen here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're paid to trade, not paid to be right. So
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. I don't fucking know where the hell this is gonna go.
I don't know. I mean, but I'm ready for it. Like, I'm not going to say it stops at this number or here or there. I think
Yeah.
you just have to be prepared either case. I think it's the extremes that people can't fathom happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get caught off guard. I'm like, just widen your imagination. It can happen. Don't get caught off guard.
Yep. Sully, when you say euro dollar, do you mean the euro or the euro dollar? Not the euro to the dollar, right? All right. So the euro dollar is actually just created to support the USD. This is from what Ira said. So I'm regurgitating what Ira said. So well, you and I both trust Ira, so the euro dollar was created because I asked him this question as well. The euro dollar is created to support the USD. It's to transact overseas, mainly Europe, obviously, in dollar, but not using the dollar. So it's it's just a fancy way of using the to using the dollar in a nutshell. I think Ira has a blog on that. I think he blogged about it. So if you want to go look it up, or if I can find it, I'll send it to you.
That's interesting. Red pie. If other places are doing QE, money can flow there and then leave our markets.
Yeah, they are trying to move away from it, but mainly it's because of if I recall correctly, I don't know if they're creating or they're using gold, and so China and Russia has been buying a lot of gold to prop up their own currency, anticipating sanctions. So they're trying to use their currency to be backed by the gold, to actually be backed, unlike US's, well, everyone knows, they're no
Be
longer backed,
abandoned.
but yeah. China and Russia. Oh, nice. Is it? Depends where you're from. Red Pie, in regards to them flowing money into Chinese tickers and stuff like that, I don't know. Like, I think that's one probably really above my pay grade, and two, from my understanding, China isn't doing so well, so hot themselves, right? There's a lot of backlash. Uh, as a lot of you guys know, my wife is Chinese. Oh, I'm Chinese too, but she's actually, from Hong Kong, so she's a little bit pro-Chinese, or she knows a little bit more than I think most Westerners. And we both think that there is a high possibility that COVID restrictions is, not lifting COVID restrictions was one way of China stopping their citizens from protesting against corruption and shit like that. Everyone knows about the bank incident, or or their property developers and stuff like that. So that was one way of them trying to stop people from being able to protest. I don't know, based on what I saw in or what I've heard from my friends in Shanghai and Shenzhen, it doesn't really sound like they're healthy.
Did you see bonds had a pretty strong rejection from the bottom?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, let's see how it works. I think there's follow through. We're breaking down this
Yeah.
stuff, but we'll see what happens.
So I also read that like central banks in Europe might be loading up on gold also.
Oh, yeah, I also heard that. Um, yeah, I heard that as well.
Like, slowly building their reserves now for next year.
Let me see this real quick. What is this? G Trader, this guy's probably dead.
This is
Truthfully.
reporting.
Yeah, since the recording, he has passed. It was an accident. He fell.
Yeah.
Where? No one knows.
Out the window.
Yeah. The last sighting of him was this face.
Oh my god. Remember when there was just like a slew of like Russian people getting tossed out the windows? Like
Where?
2 or 3. It was just like always reported over the last couple of years. There was just like So-and-so
Wow.
fell out the window.
That's very crazy.
Yeah. Did you ever read that book, Red Notice?
Why does it sound so familiar? Is that the one movie that they came out with?
No. Wait,
Oh.
did they make a movie?
I don't know. Either or,
I
I
don't
didn't watch
know.
it or read it. But what's up? What about it?
It's a guy that, it's a true story. He's American. He moved to UK, worked on the trading floor, right?
Uh-huh.
And was like doing investments in emerging markets and stuff like that. And then he found opportunity. He was like pretty good at it, and he found these opportunities in Russia. So he went there, lived there. I think his citizenship was still American. But anyway, he was basically trying to buy these companies dirt cheap, right? And trying to uncover bad companies. In any case, the Russian people, like, they just went all out to try to eradicate him from the country, block him from coming in, because he would have to travel back and forth from the UK because he was divorced and his daughter lived in the UK. We'd always travel back and forth. But when they found out that he was like actively investing in their companies and trying to buy out their share, because the Russians were doing the same, right? They're trying to take advantage of these companies and buy the bulk share, but he was doing the same and competing with them. So they basically took every effort to stop him, and there was like sketchy shit. They would block him from coming into the country, and then they had people follow him in London, and people were like, "You're not safe here." Had to go to Congress here in the U.S. and like start petitioning for some sort of sanctions against specific individuals. Like, it became like this whole ordeal. Basically, the gist of it is, don't fuck around with the Russians. Like, don't even step foot in their territory. I don't care how much money you can make, just don't do it. Don't do it. But they like raided his office. Like, someone came in Russia and like raided his whole office and like burned things, like stole computers, and then had him followed all the time, had his colleagues followed all the time. And I think they even imprisoned one of his colleagues for no reason at all. Just like locked him up. And that person was Russian. So there was just like shady shit going on there.
I mean, if of all places, I mean, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen in Russia, right?
Yeah.
Or yeah, so it's like not only are you fucking with you're doing something in Russia business and you're not Russian, but secondly, you're competing with them too?
Yes.
Fuck? You
That's
stupid?
the thing is, he was like, he would travel because he didn't understand, because he's going through like all of like the financials and he didn't understand some things, like the numbers looked off, like the books just looked off. Then he would travel to wherever these companies were to try to get more information, and they're like, what the hell are you doing here? Like, leave. Like, don't try like putting your nose in other people's businesses. Like, we're purposely cooking our books for a reason, and then all these other Russians are going to take over, not you. Okay?
Yeah. Jesus.
It was really crazy. Yeah.
Wait, what is this book? It's a book, right?
It's a book, Red Notice. It gets boring towards the end, but it just becomes like too verbose. But the whole storyline is actually really interesting. I think it happens in like the late 90s, I want to say. I read Notice, a true story of high finance murder. Oh yeah, I think they killed one of his colleagues.
Oh Jesus. Oh, thanks, Rep. I was actually. Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, Bill Bowder.
I'll be right back, guys. But watch the bonds. If we test 122 and not get back above it, I'm expecting ES to break. But we are in, obviously in lunchtime, so don't expect too much action. But I'll be right back.
Yeah.